I'm recording. So I guess we'll just start whenever. So if we want to go around the circle, say who we are, where we go, what we're majoring in and all that. So I'm Olivia. I go to MSU. I'm majoring in marketing and journalism and minoring in entrepreneurship. All right, who wants to go?
Can I go?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Leah. I'm majoring
she's
in chemical
Megatron.
What? I don't know what that means. Okay.
Okay.
In Chinese and hopefully gonna minor in cognitive science. So nice to meet everyone.
All right, I'm Liv. I go to University of Michigan and I'm majoring in chemical engineering.
I'll go next. My name is Marvin. I go to UPenn. I'm studying material science engineering.
Hi, I'm Wan Yang. I go to Michigan, and I'm majoring in mechanical engineering and minoring in international mind for engineers and music.
All right, I'll go last. Hi, my name is Silas Yang. I go to Michigan State, and I will be majoring in supply chain management.
Woo! Okay, so as you can see, our setup is a little jank, but we have 4 viewers, so that's awesome. All right. So let's get started. Okay, first question. So we have a nice mix of girls and boys in here, so we can answer the question pretty fairly. So what are some must-haves you have in your dorm, or what did you realize this year that you totally needed and didn't have?
There's actually a lot of things when you get to college you don't realize that you really needed. One thing that I found really useful was, I'm using it right now and I don't want to plug it because everything's plugged into it, but it's basically this thing you plug into an outlet and it gives you extra outlets, if it makes sense. So like you plug it in and it gives you like 6 extra outlets, and that is something that is super useful because in a room you probably only have like 2 outlets, one for your roommate and one for you. So that's something that I think is really useful and is something that everyone needs.
Yeah. Anyone else?
And a lot of
Okay.
with the outlet stuff, like definitely get an extension cord just so you can like plug it like remotely, like all over the place and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely had a lot of this. So very helpful.
And like along with like cords, like extra long chargers are the best because you literally like on the top of your bunk or wherever it is, like you're gonna need that. And then also you definitely need like a shower caddy to like bring your stuff from your dorm to the shower or whatever, because like you want to keep it all in one place.
And I had a suite style bathroom and I still use
I did also.
Yeah. Did you still use the shower caddy?
Yeah, because like you want to keep your stuff in one area, like away from other people's. And then a very important thing is get a tower fan like this.
Oh yeah.
Because if your dorm doesn't have AC, like most dorms don't, and it gets really hot, like especially in September and like in the spring, I imagine. So.
Yeah, and for the ladies out there, I definitely had like my own separate mirror for makeup for my desk. That definitely helped a lot because the bathroom isn't really a space that you want to take too much time up in case someone else needs your spot type of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, another cute thing like for decorations is like lights and pictures. Just like I had a ton of pictures I printed out of like my friends from high school because like I didn't have them at college, which was sad, but like it would always remind me of home. Yeah, like that. And let me see. Shout out to uni for this one.
Aw. All right, are we good for another question? So the question is, so this is for specifically Michigan and Michigan State, but Marvin, you can answer too. How did the bus system work and how reliable was it?
Okay, so like, okay, MSU go first.
I don't know. I think it was for it depends on where you live, really. For MSU, I think specifically because in case for where I lived in Brody neighborhood, we only had one bus route that came through our area, and that rotated depending on the time of the day every like 7 to 15 minutes. But I know like there were like I think where Olivia lived, there were a lot of more bus
We had
routes that came through. Yeah, so I think it was better. It depends on where you are.
Yeah, I lived in South Campus, which is right by the football stadium. So we had a lot of buses stop, like especially around my dorm. There were like a bunch of stops, and they were all pretty frequent too. So for me, it was very reliable and helped me get to places really fast, which is nice because State is a huge campus, and walking is not always very fun.
Yeah. And along with that too, like I was at Holmes Hall, which is East neighborhood. So a lot of the stops weren't really near me. So definitely make sure you have the transit app locating like where your stops are, making sure you're on time, because it was honestly really hard as a freshman, like navigating where everything was and stuff like that. So make sure you're familiar with it before you like go and stuff like that.
True.
Yeah, at UMich we have, it's called the Magic Bus app, and they kind of just made it. It's like a new thing. Like they had
Yeah, so as you
before.
can see,
Yeah.
like it doesn't show any bus. How do I show this? All right, hold on. Like as you can see, it doesn't show any buses right now. So like that's how terrible the app is.
Yeah.
It
They're
doesn't
not
work.
really like on top of it, but it's nice because like it'll show you stops and like the routes at least. And the app they used to use, it was like really on
Double
time.
map.
Like it would be like, oh, like 2 minutes away. And like for me it would always work. So I'm sure they're gonna like get it together and figure it out.
Yeah, but like from my experience, because so in Michigan, so there's two like main areas of, I guess three, but like technically two main areas of dorms. You could either live on Central Campus or North Campus. So Michigan has three main campuses: North Campus, Central Campus, and South Campus. And so Central Campus is where all the School of College of LSA and like all that stuff is. So that's like the way the main hub is. So as a freshman, that's where your classes will mostly all at in Central Campus. North Campus is the College of Engineering and the Architecture School, the Taubman College of Architecture, and the music school. It's called Stamps. Well, Stamps is an art school, and then I forgot what the music. It's like an acronym, but
SMT.
SMT, the School of Music, Theater, and Dance, is also on North Campus. So, and then South Campus is athletic campus. So like all like the big house is there, and all the athletic stuff is over there. So anyway, so I was in North Campus, and Liv stayed in the Hills, which is near the Central Campus. Or no, you were in East Quad.
Yeah, I was at East Quad, but it was really nice because I literally never used the bus, only to go to North Campus like once a week for meetings. But for the most part, like everything is very walkable unless you're going between North and Central Campus.
Yeah. So personally, like,
yeah, go ahead.
so personally, living on North Campus, like I take a bus every day because my classes would be on Central. So it's very annoying because it takes about like 15 minutes from North to get down to Central. So you have to wake up the classes earlier than that. So and then like whether you get to stay on North or Central is like just lottery. Like it's just luck.
Yeah.
So if you get stuck on North, it's like you're just stuck on North. But you know, it's because it's all freshman dorms on North. You get to meet a lot of other freshmen, and they're in the same place as you, like stuck on North. So you really build a community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little far, but worth it, you know.
Yeah.
Marvin, did you have any transportation?
Honestly, Penn is like small enough that you can walk everywhere. I guess like my 2 cents is like pick up a somewhat portable form of transportation for me. I like my friend kind of just recommended that I start skateboarding, so I'm kind of like a skater boy now of sorts. But yeah, a lot of people bike at Penn. A lot of people have like those electric razors. I don't know if you guys have those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So shit like that makes it really easy to like get to places really quickly. I don't know. I guess I'm biased because I skate, so pick up a skateboard. Like I never thought that I would be the type of person to. But it's so much fun, honestly. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does sound
And
fun.
if you do happen to have a bike, make sure you get those locks that are like you can't cut through, because there's a lot of theft on with bikes. So get a
Oh,
good lock. It's worth
very
putting
true.
in like $50 for a lock.
Yeah. All right, so we actually have our first question from the live stream. And because we've got a hefty 9 viewers. That's pretty amazing.
That's nice.
All right, so the question is, did you ever get homesick? I would say at the beginning, yeah, I got a little bit homesick. I definitely going to MSU, I was like, oh my God, it's so close. I will never get homesick. But that hour and a half, it's quite long. And you feel farther away than you actually are. So I think for the first like month, maybe I was a little homesick, but then I definitely got into the groove of things pretty quick.
Yeah, you definitely get used to it because honestly, after a little bit, it starts to feel like not actual home, but like it reminds you of home and stuff, like the people that surround you and stuff like that. So you start to like not want to go be homesick as much and just enjoy the time with the people that you've met along the way. Yeah.
I guess for out of state, like if you're going out of state, just know that like you'll be really far away. Especially if you go to like a place that not a lot of people go to. You're definitely going to be thrown into a very different environment. So for me, it was a little bit rough at the beginning because like I didn't have any friends coming in except for the ones that I made during orientation. So definitely take advantage of like the beginning first couple weeks because that's like prime time for making friends, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say to the freshman students that might not be able to live on campus? What do you think would be the best way to make friends when they finally do get on campus?
I think it's just to get involved personally. I think that's something that I learned my first semester, that you are going to meet so much people as long as you go out and put in the effort to go meet them. So I got involved by meeting so many people through pledging 2 fraternities and then also getting involved in a club. I've met so many new people, and I feel like almost everywhere I go, I run into someone I know on campus now, even if it is a giant campus. But I've met so many different people, and I think that's the easiest way to make friends.
Yeah, agreed. So talking about Greek life, we have 2 people in Greek life and 1 pledging at the moment. So Liv and Silas are both in Greek life, but Silas is also in a business fraternity. So if you guys want to talk about that.
Yeah.
All right.
You
Yeah.
can go first.
Okay, so plug Zeta, yay. So at UMich at least, you can only rush for second semester, like during the winter semester. I guess when you're rushing, like it's a pretty long process, but it like everyone always has questions and it's like, how does it work out? Like, are you ranked? Like, how do you get cut and everything like that? But it's basically you just have to trust the process and it really works out for itself. You will meet like the girls that you really like, and I love it because like people are so supportive and will like I can always rely on them. But basically through Greek life, you get like a lot of connections, like you get to a lot more of a social scene and like you can meet a lot more people. It's not like if you're not in Greek life, you can't, but it's just like when you're in Greek life, there's so much like positivity, I guess, surrounding it, and people will always be watching out for you. So yeah, and like there's also a lot of volunteering opportunities that we have, and just like we have sisterhood events like every other week. We'll go to like airtime or we'll have like meals together, and I can always like go to the house whenever I want and like see girls. They also help a lot like academically. There's a lot of girls that like are in my major. Like my big is shout out to my big. I love her. She's the same major as me, so she like plugs me for all the classes like I'll have next year.
Oh, nice. Love that.
Oh, I guess it's my turn. So I'm in 2 fraternities like Olivia mentioned. I am in Lambda Phi Epsilon, which is my social side, and then I am in Phi Chi Theta, which is a professional business fraternity. The reason I decided to do both is as a personal thing, is just because I like meeting and talking to a bunch of different people. I think there's pluses and minuses to both, but I think in both the pluses do overweigh the rest of them. For professional, I think that it's something great for everyone because classes can only teach so much, and a professional fraternity will give you things that a class wouldn't show you. So like how to make a resume, how you need to present yourself in a professional setting in order to get an internship. And there's just countless things that a professional fraternity will show you that I don't think classes will always be able to cover. If we're talking about social fraternities, a lot of like what Liv just said, it's really fun. You meet a lot of great people. Just trust the process. Sometimes you might not get into the fraternity you want while you're rushing, but you know, sometimes it'll just kind of end up in your favor, and you will find the people you really like and want to bond with, and you will have fun with, you know, your so-called, you know, brothers.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it also doesn't take away at all. Like a lot of my friends, I knew before I rushed, like I knew like so many girls and we all like rushed together, but we ended up in different houses, which is like totally fine. And I see them all the time and like there's no tension at all. And like I feel like there's this huge concern that there's like a hierarchy system, and it can definitely be true at first, but once you realize like everyone in Greek life, everyone in like fraternity sorority life, like kind of supports each other, I guess, and like you see each other and there's kind of like a pride to it. So it's definitely more positive than I feel like people are like really scared about it sometimes.
So for all of us not in Greek life, did you find it hard to meet people or go to parties, or anyone want to mention or comment on that? Okay.
Well,
Go ahead.
Liv is also on like an Indian dance team, but I'm on Zaria, which is the all girls Indian dance team at Michigan State. So that was definitely a way to meet new people. Like going in, I didn't know any of these girls, but they became really good friends. So just that kind of opportunity like that. Also, other extracurriculars I joined, like definitely met people along the way. But just like with classes and everything, you'll always meet new people. That's the thing about Michigan State. There's just so many people to meet, and like everyone's engaged. They want to meet new people too. So it's pretty easy.
Yeah, and like I didn't join Greek life because I just thought I had too much of a busy schedule for it. So to make up for not putting myself in a situation with a lot of like girls to meet, I did join a lot of clubs as well, like VIM, which is Michigan State's fashion magazine, and a few other clubs, and that definitely really helped as well, making friends. But not being in Greek life and going to parties, I think to me didn't really coincide, because like everyone has an equal opportunity to go to parties if you're a girl, sort of. But but yeah, like don't worry about being left out if you're not in a sorority. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Okay, so we have a very cute question. It says, can people tell if I'm a freshman?
Oh god.
Honestly, I think that's really hard. I'm also really bad at telling how old people are. I guess it's like in the beginning you can really tell, like you'll be able to see who's lost and who's not. Like I remember my friend from high school, we actually had a class with each other, and she got lost on the way to class, and she ended up being like 5 minutes late. So I think in a way like that, maybe people will be able to pick you out, but people are also really focused on themselves. So
yeah, for sure. So yeah, about being late to class. So how are classes different from high school?
Well, the thing is, like, you tell yourself, oh, I woke up every day at 8 o'clock, or my class started at 7:20 in high school. I'll be able to make those 8 a.m.s. But it's really tough.
Oh, sure. I can't even imagine we all woke up so early in high school.
Yeah. And the thing is that, like, you will be late to class, and like you will like get lost. And the I think the most important like advice is that just don't panic. Like even if you're like lost or like you're late to class, like there's gonna be recorded lectures. Like it's gonna be like one class you miss. Like it's not gonna be a big deal at the end of the day. So like even when you're lost, just try to calm down. Like just ask around, because like people will just be like be willing to help.
True. What about the workload for everyone? Was it shocking, the same? Most of our viewers are from Troy High. Was it different?
It's very.
It's like Marvin should.
Yeah. Let's talk about from an Ivy League point of
It's
view.
pretty different, honestly. Like, it's more like, it's not like the workload by itself objectively is more than Troy High. Like, Troy High is a pretty smart school. Like they give you a lot of shit to do, so it keeps you busy. But the thing about college is like you're on your own time now. Like no one's like managing it for you. So like if you put stuff off to the like last minute, like you're gonna get fucked. But like objectively, like it's not as much work. You just have to be able to plan it long term, I guess.
Yeah,
It's all
definitely.
about
I think that's just the biggest thing about college is that you're just on your own. It's like you get so much independence. Like your parents aren't there. Like you have to force yourself to go to class. You can skip every class if you wanted to. It's your choice.
Don't
Do that, but you could. So like there's so much on you that like you have to care enough to study for an exam. You have to care enough to do homework.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like that. So I think that's the biggest difference.
It's just being disciplined. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just be disciplined.
There's like a lot of classes, especially like your freshman year, that are like, they call them weeder classes. And what happens a lot, especially in like sciences and like math and engineering, is like all of your grade is weighted on exams. So you don't have like a group project to save you. You don't have your homework grades to save you. Like you have to do well on your exams. And a lot of the time the average is like a 60%. So it's just like you have to prepare for that exam and like that's your one shot. So a lot of it's just like studying on your own, and it's not like I can get by having 100% of my homework. Like that's not good enough. So
Yeah, that's also a big thing I thought was different was in a lot of my classes, there was no cushion. Like it was test, and then maybe a lab and maybe a worksheet that really meant nothing. So like you don't have really homework to help you learn. So it's about studying little by little and remembering to study. That's just in my case, because like once the exam came and say I slacked off a little and didn't study for like a week or two, things were very difficult. So yeah. All right, next question. Does GPA matter? This one's a little difficult. I honestly, of course
I think it depends on your major.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the major. Like for so I'm going into pre-med, so they look into the science GPA. So you definitely want to make sure that your science GPA is really good, like your chemistry, like all the STEM classes. Definitely want to make sure your GPA is really high. So in that case, it definitely matters. But you know, I don't really know per se like business majors and stuff like that. So if you guys want to.
Honestly, all transparency, I don't think I'll be going on to school after college because I really just want to do 4 years and then start working on something or start working for someone. So for me, my GPA matters in the sense that my employer might see it. But I mean, of course, GPA always matters, but in the grand scheme of things, that I don't think it matters as much as someone who's going to med school or someone, I don't know, doing education beyond college. Maybe that might be wrong. Sorry, but yeah.
I think it varies depending on what school you go to and what college you're going into. Like I know for Michigan State, as being a business major, to first get admitted into the business school, you to be competitive, you should be standing at least a 3-point. Then after that, if you need to get into your major, some of your majors to be considered to be taken into that area, your GPA has to be high in order to be competitive. So I know for like to be competitive, to be a supply chain major, you need to have a 3.5, 3.6 or up. If not, there's no chance you're really getting in. Accounting, I know, is really competitive. So it just depends on your school and what they require.
True.
I'd also like to say that your first semester GPA is like literally going to be like the worst thing in the world. Like I was like so ashamed of my first semester GPA. Just know it gets better. And not everyone is probably going to be as bad as mine was, but like your GPA is never as bad as your first semester. So.
And Michigan does things a little different. Like Liv and I, did you get into the engineering school?
Oh no, I'm applying this fall.
Okay, yeah. So Michigan does it a little differently. Where MSU, you apply your major. It sounds like your second, like your sophomore year, right? Like you apply to the school.
Yeah, depending on the credits you have.
Yeah. So Michigan is a little different. So when you apply in like winter and fall for Michigan, you're applying for a specific school. So I applied when I applied to be a freshman to the College of Engineering, and I was accepted at the College of Engineering. And so the thing is that when you're in the College of Engineering, your GPA literally, as long as you get above a 2.0, you graduate with a Michigan engineering degree. So like the saying in the College of Engineering is, because the classes are really hard, C's get degrees. But like in the case of Olivia,
Nice.
where she applied to the college, or this, is it called the College of LSA or school?
No, it's like College of Literature, Science, and the Arts, but it's LSA.
So LSA is the biggest school in Michigan. It's the liberal arts college. So Olivia applied to LSA, and she did her first year in LSA, but she wants to transfer to the College of Engineering for her sophomore year. So it's a little different for her since the transfer application looks at her GPA and like the classes she's taken. So it's a little bit different for Liv, but at least for me, like I still try to have my GPA up because I'm trying to do like graduate school and stuff.
Yes.
But it really doesn't for me personally.
So
All right.
basically, he doesn't have to try as hard as I do, but it's fine.
All right,
I literally just have
so
to pass my classes.
we are at a hefty 14 viewers. It is
Wow.
climbing. We actually have a question from Jake Volick, and it is centered towards Marvin.
Hi,
And
Jake.
Jake's question actually goes with one of the questions someone asked. And the question was, how do I avoid the freshman 15? And Jake's question to Marvin was, how did you have time to go to the weight room and be such a beast while being also academically rigorous? So if you'd like to share.
I guess like this goes back to what I talked about before, which is like managing your time. When you go to college, you're gonna realize like there's only so many things you can do. It's not like high school anymore where you have like you can do a bunch of clubs after school and then like just go home. It's more like your whole life now is just like on your hands. So for me, basically, like I try to allocate at least 5 days a week to go to the gym for like an hour or something. And you balance that by like making a schedule. Definitely make sure to make a schedule of all your stuff that you have going on in your life. Yeah, that's something that I definitely didn't do in high school, and it kind of fucked me, and I kind of wish that I like started earlier. But yeah, as long as you make a schedule and like you're following it, you should be fine to like do whatever you can in the time like in like the 24 hours that you have in a day.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so another question. This one kind of applies to me. What do I do if I hate my major? So I initially got accepted into the James Madison College at Michigan State, which is the poli-sci pre-law college. And I personally found that I did not like it very much. And they were very understanding that I didn't like it. So all I had to do was go to my counselor. And I was like, hey, listen, like, I don't think I'm cut out for this. Like, and I really want to pursue journalism, but I think I also want to do business. Am I too late? Because I knew that you had to apply to the business school, like start getting your credits and everything. Thankfully, the classes I took for James Madison also helped my prerequisites for the business school. So that was awesome. And then we changed around my schedule for second semester so I could do journalism as well. So it was definitely possible. It was not hard. And in the end, I was so much more happy. So if you are unhappy with your major, I would say do not stay with it. Like there's some statistic that it's like people change their major like 3 to 5 times before their end of their sophomore year. Like that's totally normal. So yeah. Anyone else?
I knew a girl that changed her major like 5 times during her whole career of school, and she's still graduating on time in 4 years. So if you're gonna change your major a lot, just go for it. You'll get through it.
Because like think about like down the road, do you really want to do something that you hate for the rest of your life? Like
True that. Thanks, Rashab, for backing me up. Love that. We're getting lots of comments, guys. 15 viewers. Really great. Okay, next question. What is medical amnesty? This is something I didn't know about at all. So who wants to talk about it?
Okay. Medical amnesty is probably one of the most important things, especially if you're going to go out on like a Friday or Saturday night. So basically, it's like if your friend is unconscious and you need to call the cops to like get help for them, or not the cops, an ambulance, you can say medical
From
amnesty
the
and you
influence
hand them,
of alcohol
yeah,
and drugs.
yeah, you and them won't get in trouble, like with the law or anything. And in general, like cops are very not strict on campus, at least at UMich, and like they're very understanding, and like they know people are gonna party and they just want to make sure you're safe about it. So if you're in trouble, like don't hesitate. And if you see someone like and you don't even know them and they're unconscious on the ground, like you should help them. So that's what medical amnesty is for. Like no one's gonna get in trouble, they just want to help you.
Yes, always be safe and make smart choices. Yes.
I think also, but do keep in mind medical amnesty. So let's say like you're out at a party and then your friend is the one that needs to have medical amnesty called for them. If you're at a party, you still run the risk of everyone else around you getting in trouble. You are calling medical amnesty for you and the person you're worried about. Police still, yeah, they will still, there is a chance that they still may check other people, arrest other people for underage drinking or whatever's going on at the party. So, you know, if you call medical amnesty, be sure to let people know. You don't want to have problems and things like that.
And like if you're at a party and like cops come and bust your party, like the most likely like they probably won't do anything to you if you like if you like listen to their orders, and like if they tell you like just separate, that if you just follow what they say, you probably won't get in trouble. But if you try to like talk back and like it's like, why are you busting my party, then that's when you get in trouble with the law.
Yeah. Speaking of, oh yeah, go ahead.
There's a rule in like Greek life for the associated fraternities and sororities at UMich that's like if
like 5 of them. That's
yeah, there's not that many, but if you're basically at a party and the cops like never call them on associated frats, but if they call the cops on you for like whatever being too loud, you can like walk out of the party and like you can be walking on the sidewalk or like whatever, and as long as you're leaving, like it's fine. Like they can't legally catch you because they're an associated frat. So it's kind of nice.
All right. Speaking of parties, someone wanted to know, for game days and parties, what do I need? What do I wear? What do I not wear? I know Liv and I are talking about the term frackets, which is a jacket that you do not care about, or a flannel that you can just leave at a frat house in case.
Don't wear white shoes.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Like you want to wear like your cutest game day outfit or whatever, but do not wear a pair of shoes you care about, because half the time when you're at like a party, tailgate, whatever, you're in like mud or on the grass, or like you have to walk all the way to the football field, so you're not going to want to like be walking in your favorite shoes, I guess, when it's a long day and things like that. So just be careful.
Also, just don't wear anything expensive in general, because I feel like when you go to like a party, you're definitely not going to remember or be aware of like the stuff that you brought with you. So like definitely be like light on like what you bring. Don't bring like expensive ass coats in the winter, because they will definitely get mixed with like the tens of like all the other like similar looking coats that it's just gonna be like ass to like sort through when you're like not okay later on.
Anyway, okay, speaking of clothing, someone asked, how do people actually dress when they go to class? Because I know in high school we all kind of wanted to look our best because we all knew each other for a really long time, but college is a little different. Yeah.
If you go to class, it's respect. So just like people show up in PJs, like sweats, like hair just in a bun, like no one cares. Like everyone's in the same boat. Just get to class.
Yeah, true that. I cared so much in high school about what I wore. And then in college, it's the first time I wore sweats probably like 3 days in a row, and like sweatshirt, and did not care, and nobody cares. And it's just everyone's dressed the same way, like whatever, you know? Yeah. Okay, let's see if anyone else wants to add anything while I find a question. They can. All right. What do I do if someone in my group project sucks?
Honestly, I didn't have a lot of group projects. I had like one, so I can't really help there. But if I were in the position, me being the person I am, I would tell the person to get their shit together. But sometimes that doesn't always work. So if not, I think the best choice for you is to go to your TA. TAs are really helpful. They're close in age to you, so they understand what you're going through. They probably have had the same problem, and they will most likely be able to help you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, another question. In high school, it was easy to get to know my teachers. In college, how do I get close to my professors?
Office hours.
True.
So, well, the thing is that it really depends on which class. Like, so in freshman year, you're really got to take the general ed classes, the required classes, like a big, like what you see in movies, the big lecture hall, one professor talking to like 400 students, that kind of thing. And it's going to be really hard to get too close to your professor in those classes because chances are your professor doesn't even know your name. So in those classes, they assign what's called GSIs, or graduate student instructors. And those are the graduate students that have some experience in the field, and they already have a degree in that field. So those GSIs have like lab section in their own office hours. So most likely in those classes, they're gonna be the ones that you're gonna be interacting with and getting to know personally if you want. But those smaller classes of like 100 or less, then you could go to your professor's office hours, and like you really got to utilize your office hours, because like I try to learn without office hours. Like that stuff is hard. It doesn't make sense. Like you have to go to office hours and like talk to your professor and ask questions. And like, at least for me, that's not how I learn. Like, so there's like these Sunday sessions that you can have with like, that the school, at least Michigan, sets up for you. It's with like a GSI type person and like a group of like 10 kids, and like you sit there and then you like practice exam problems and you like go over what you learned in lecture that week. And like I really learned a lot through that. And you also get closer with like, let's say your professor, your GSI that way, and you get to meet other kids in your class too.
Yeah. All right, so this one's for Leah on this topic. You, I know personally, went to a lot of advisors because you were mixed about what major to go through. How was it easy talking to advisors?
Honestly, yes. Like it was very helpful. So I'm in Lyman Briggs, which is the science college. So I knew I wanted to go into STEM, something like that. So they were honestly so helpful in that aspect, and like giving me like certain examples on like what I could do and like what best fits me. And they were actually so understanding with everything that I actually wanted to do, and it was so helpful along the way. So I'm really glad I had that.
Nice. All right, so we have a question from the live stream from Unibake. She says, are robberies in the dorm as common as I think they are and as people say they are?
Honestly, I think it's like really common, because like at least at MSU, I know they email you like whenever a burglary happens, and I swear one was happening like every other week for me. Like I was always getting an email like, oh, a burglary just happened right here. And I just like was so confused, because I was like, I don't see anything suspicious, but I'm always getting these emails that people are getting robbed. And when you read the emails, it's just because people left their doors unlocked to the dorm. So as long as you don't leave your doors unlocked, you'll be 100% fine.
Yes, lock your door. 100%.
For me, like at UMich, they have like all this double security stuff, which is really good. But I lost so much clothing to the laundry room. Like I'd come back and like a pair of leggings was gone, or like my Nike sports bra was gone, and it was so annoying. But like things like that, it's just like, oh, I probably shouldn't have left my clothes in there extra 2 hours just because like I was doing an assignment or whatever. So just like to avoid it, you can sit like in the laundry room, I guess, but just like when the timer's up on your laundry, go get it. It helps everyone, and you won't get your stuff stolen like I did.
PSA.
Yeah.
Look Oh,
that reminds me of Marvin's story.
What?
Marvin, remember like the first time you washed your clothes when you went to school?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good
oh,
Oh,
no,
time.
the tail.
I remember that.
Don't. Moral of the story. Or at least I guess like what happened was I've never done like my laundry. Like my parents have always been doing them.
Oh my god.
And like when I went to college, like obviously I had to learn how to wash my clothes. So like the first time I did my laundry, I just left it in the wash for like 2 days. Um,
What?
and basically when I went back after 2 days, I mean obviously all my clothes were gone. So like I was yeah, they're definitely moral of the story is don't leave your clothes in the laundry for 2 days. Definitely check after like the cycle's over, like whatever, and like get your shit and leave, I guess.
Okay, speaking of laundry, I know at state it's free and it's usually in every dorm. Is it free for you guys?
No.
Hell no.
Is
It's
it how
like
much?
it takes like $2.50 to do like a cycle of wash and dry.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's ridiculous. And if you're a girl, like I would do 5 loads every single
Oh
week.
my god.
And the dryers sucked, okay? Like,
Yeah, they break often.
and I'd have to like do it twice in a row, but it's okay. They make it easy. There's an app and you
Yeah.
can like reload automatically. So
Yeah,
love
so
it.
you just pay on your phone and it connects to the wash. So it's like pretty convenient.
nice.
So you don't have to like get coins or anything.
All right, let's talk about. I think this will probably be our last subject. So let's talk about dorm food. What did you have in your dorm? Food that you kept in it? How was the dorm food like in the cafeteria? And did you spend a lot of money on restaurants? So personally, I didn't really spend any outside money because the cafes were actually really good and really accessible. The only money I really spent was on Starbucks because it was in Wells Hall where all my classes were, and it was just too tempting. So I got a lot of Starbucks. But that was about it. Even on the weekends, like we'd usually like eat in the dorm but then go out. Like that's kind of lame, but like saving money, you know. And the food was good. I thought the food was pretty good. So
At UMich, it's like a lot of the dining halls close pretty early. They don't really have late nights. I know at like MSU they have a lot of those, but it like forced me, like I had so much of the like microwave mac and cheese or like crackers or something like that. I was gonna say it before on the freshman 15 question, but I think that was like a big like reason I got the freshman 15 was like I would come back from starting at like midnight or like 2 a.m. or whatever and be like shoveling in like mac and cheese. Like that's so bad for you. So just I don't even know. Like you just have to make sure like you have your food schedule on top of like you got to keep yourself in check. And also you can definitely like steal stuff from dining halls and just like keep it in your room for like later, like a bagel or something. So
true that. Yeah.
Like what I found really hard was like forcing myself to go eat. Cause like, you know, dining halls close at like certain time, especially for dinner. Cause you're just like doing your homework and it's like 8 o'clock and you're like, I'm really not hungry, but like dining halls close at 9. So you have to like force yourself to like stop doing homework and go and eat. And like it takes like an hour out of your time. You're like, this is like an hour that I could be doing homework, but
Mm. You know, the
I
cafe
think
ended up being my favorite place to study. Like I would sit in there, nibble on my food, and just
oh
like
really?
study or watch Netflix. Like I would sit in a booth and just be there for like hours. But yeah.
So for me at least, like if you're going to a school out of state and like your school is located in like a big city like Philly for me, there's definitely a lot of culture and a lot of food. So definitely for me at least, like I was exploring the food in Philly a lot. We have a lot of food trucks on campus, so I was spending a lot of my money on that. The food in our dining halls wasn't like extraordinary, but that kind of made keeping like the freshman 15 down like easier because like it was either like eat food and spend money or like stay fit, I guess. So like it wasn't for me. Um, so yeah, if you're gonna go to like a school that has like a big like city life, you're definitely gonna have a lot of good food to eat, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And like my advice about spending money your freshman year on food is like if you have a dining plan and like all freshmen do, like try like to avoid using like money on outside food because like your sophomore, junior, and senior where you wouldn't have a meal plan, like not in dorms, you have to spend money on outside food, and you gotta probably try like a lot of food in the city like Marvin did later, well when you don't have a meal plan because you're paying for your meal plan, so just try to like
True.
avoid spending money on food when you have a meal plan.
Yeah. A big like problem I ran into, especially during first semester when everyone was like going out every weekend because the weather was nice, was like it'd be after midnight and people are hungry after they're partying, and like we would literally end up at like Pancheros or like
Oh,
DB
wow.
Burrito. Like it's so good, but it's such a bad habit because you're going in like they know like people want to pay for this pizza, like they're gonna upcharge it. At least in Ann Arbor is crazy. So like you just got to be careful and like realize you're probably spending like over $20 per weekend, which is bad. So because over time it adds up.
But also those late night snacks are like pancheros or like
Yeah.
Big Ten.
Yeah, I think if you're going to
if
you're going to MSU, the one place you have to go eat at a late night is we have Conrad's, and I think that's like the best place to go after a late night of partying. I went there 3 nights in a row, and oh my god, I felt terrible. Personally, I'm the type of person that just loves to eat, so I'll just eat anything. I think my mindset was like, if I wanted food, I was gonna pay for it regardless. So I remember one time, like my roommate walked in, and I was just like, I had a burrito in one hand and a bowl of noodles in the other, and I was just like chowing down in my dorm. So I think it depends on how you feel. Like if you are a type of person like me that likes food, go out, spend your money. There's a lot of different foods around MSU at least. And I know UMich. Oh my god, I love going to UMich to go eat because you guys have so much Asian food. Like there's so many Korean restaurants you guys can go to. But yeah, that's what I think about eating out.
All right. Any last remarks or things you wish you would have known before you went through freshman year?
I guess like one of the things is like a lot of people don't know what they're doing. Like you probably will reach a point at some point or another like where you're like, what am I doing? I hate this class, and like, do I even want to do my major? Like I had that problem so many times, and I just had to like look to the future and be like, okay, this is my goal. But also realize like everyone is going through the same thing as you. Like my roommate and I were both failing the same class at one point, and we were like, our life is going down the drain, but it's not the end of the world. So just know everyone's in the same boat.
I agree. I think it's totally about the bounce back. Like there'll be a lot of setbacks. You'll feel a little lost most of the time, but like it's all about setting goals. Like I think this is the first time that I really ever wrote down goals, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that because like you lose when you're on your own now. No one's telling you to do anything. Like you got to tell yourself to do stuff. So I think it's really important for me to like write down what I want to achieve. Definitely to-do list. Crossing things out is awesome, and like yeah, just see the end goal. Like everything is happening for a reason, and yeah.
And like I think the biggest thing is like in high school, like GPA is like your life. Like you have to like get your GPA up. But like I think in college it's like it's a lot different. It's like your GPA definitely matters a lot less. And it's like at least at Michigan, an A minus is like a 3.8. So it's like your GPA is not as high as like you're gonna think.
So
like
3.7.
oh yeah, 3.7.
I think what One Young's getting at is like your GPA doesn't matter as much as it did in high school. It's more like your mindset has shifted to like your desire to acquire knowledge. It's more about like the education that you're getting there because you're not like getting taught by like professors that, or you're not getting taught by like teachers who are getting paid like minimum wage like in high school. You're getting taught by like professors that are making actual research and like making like these super like impressive professors that know like that are experts in their field. Like it's a really cool thing like once you get there, the stuff that you learn every day, and like Going back to what One Young said about like talking to your professors, also like if you talk to your professors, like you'll see that like the stuff that they talk about is like really interesting. So yeah, it's not like high school anymore where it's just about GPA. It's more about like you're learning this stuff because you're genuinely interested in it. So yeah.
That's really well said. I agree.
I think one thing that I realized is I'm assuming most of these viewers are from Troy High, like Simone said earlier, but I think you take it for granted. I personally felt like Troy High was really a school that well prepared me for college, because like sometimes I'd be sitting in class and someone would say something and I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I know that just really did not come out of your mouth. And I think if you went through Troy High, you're going to walk out very well prepared for what college has to bring, whether that's an Ivy League or UMich or MSU. I think you'll be very well suited for anything that's going to come your way.
I agree. All right. Leah, anything to add?
I don't know, just like going in and everything, I was so nervous with everything, just in general, everything, like a new experience and everything like that. But you just have to realize that everyone is going through the same thing as you. So that really helps you with your journey too. And that's one thing that I wish I like realized, like headset going in. But you'll learn it soon enough. But it's really helpful. I don't know.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for doing this with me. I think we helped a lot of people out. And if we didn't help a lot of people, I think they can take some chunks of knowledge here and there along the way. And it was entertaining. So love that. I hope everyone's staying healthy and safe. And hopefully we can all see each other in person soon. All right. I'm going to try to end this. I don't know how to do this. Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay, yes.
Go blue.
Go green.
All right. I love you guys. We had 47 viewers, which I think is pretty damn
That's pretty good.
That's cool.
Very nice.
Oh,
That's awesome. All right. Love you all.
love you more.
Thanks for having us.
Bye. See you soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.